as we've been waiting for the Blues to play their first regular season game here. And we have had to wait a while, I'm not going to lie, with opening night being Tuesday, and 5 days later, the Blues will still be waiting to play their game, but it will happen, and then the season will get going, and it'll be fantastic, and they'll be playing about every other night. So,
what do you want to know?
Blues 21-22 preview. What are we thinking? Because here's the way I look at it. And when you have a successful team like the Blues, it's easy to go, okay, well, this team, it's only going to matter what they do in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that's true. But you don't want to, before they've even played a game, write off what should be a really entertaining and fun 82-game regular season. But the Blues have also gotten to a spot where the expectations are, look, a couple years ago they win the Cup. Do you expect them to win the Cup every year? Of course not. However, when you have first-round exits the last couple years, even though they were bubble-icious with COVID, whatever the hell was going on,
I like that, Charlie.
Aren't the Blues, though? The Blues are at a point, we talked the same about the Cardinals, where it's a bit of a letdown when they have two straight first-round exits, which, again, that's a good spot to be in if you're talking like that. So really, to me, the question is, and I don't want to look 6 months ahead, but can the Blues make a deep postseason run? And I'm saying that before we've even played and dropped the puck on game number 1 of 82, but I do think the Blues are going to be a very good team. Will they be a top 5 Cup contender? I think that's what we need to find out.
Well, they could be.
That's what I'm saying. But I just don't think you know that.
They could be. Like, you look at their lineup and you're like, okay, fine. No, fine. If you look at their lineup, you're like, there's no reason why they shouldn't be. There's no reason why this team shouldn't be so damn competitive, top tier in everything, especially goal scoring and having depth up front. Now, the big question is, how are they going to be defensively? If Justin Falk and Krugge go and do their thing, and they're top-notch, like they know how to play, Parayko stays healthy, Scandella just fits the mold, you got some of these other cats, Mikola's big and gets guys out, they're going to be okay. Like, I'm looking at them like, okay, and if they do need to make a move for a defenseman, for a big boy that needs to move somebody out of the way, or maybe a puck mover, I don't know, whatever it calls for in the moment, they have assets to be able to make that move. Like, they have so many players that they're going to be in the minors. You got Logie down there now. You got guys that you can use if you need to make a move. But as of right now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, if I look at this roster and I look at everybody else's roster, and I know there's some big buddies, man. You got some of the big teams, Oilers and Toronto and Boston and Tampa. Like, you got your big boys are your big boys, and they are good. And they could beat you in any given night. But they have trouble in their bottom 6. And we look at our bottom 6 like who do we put in there? Like, you got national NHL dudes ready to rock. They can play on any damn team they want. And they're sitting out because of our depth. So it's like, you better be good. And certainly you should be entertaining. But it all depends on health and stuff like that. But as of right now, Charlie Marlow, to simplify, see you, Jackson. Love you, buddy. The Blues are going to be entertaining. And if they're not, then we're going to be entertaining, chirping them.
Jimmy.
I'm there with Cam on that solid team. I like the group. I wish they were playing tonight.
I know, dude. Like, what are we doing?
Because last night I watched Colorado, ambush Chicago in the first period. I went, no.
Landeskog.
Seen that before, haven't we? Now, Landeskog may not be playing on Saturday.
I know. Or McKinnon.
Yeah, so that's an advantage Blues, right?
Yeah.
But the bottom 6, I think, when you really, like you said, Cam, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but I like that group.
Yeah.
I think that's where, like, a team like Colorado is going to have some struggles.
I agree.
Look, the kids last night played good. It was game 1. The New Hook kid, Ranta, all those young kids that they're going to give those chances to. But over the course of 80 games, for a group of young kids in a bottom 6 to play that well, that's not realistic.
Who are they missing, dude? They're missing Don Sky. They're missing Sauter. They're missing a bunch of cats.
Yeah, Belmar is a perfect
Gravy.
Yeah, They're missing a lot, and they got good goaltending last night. But the thing with Kemper again is
weird, man.
Can he stay healthy?
No,
he's
not used to winning, Jimmy. He's not used to winning.
You know what? You've seen it. Goalies who are playing on bad teams and they make 40 saves and they're like, oh my gosh, this guy is great. Gets to a team that's good. The shots are down to 25, 30.
There
and he
it
goes,
is.
well, then he's struggling. He's fighting pucks all of a sudden.
He's not handling it right. He's like goofy, kind of like Marc-Andre Fleury last night. Kind of messed up a couple times where he just was it him last night? Look, if you get it's weird. Goalies are so bizarre. We talked about this a million times. Like, but if you are on a bad team that gets loaded with shots every damn night because your D suck, like that's your groove. Like I'm gonna let in 3, but damn it, I'm gonna save 47. So my numbers look good. I'm doing it. So I'm never credited for the loss. It's more like you guys turn a damn puck over a few times. But then you get to a good team and you're like, I don't see the puck for 10 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know I don't even handle the puck behind the net. You know, so it's such a different thing. But again, to wrap everything up, as far as like letting you know where I think the Blues are, and we said this a million times before, but they should be freaking good. And if they're not, then something's going on, and we'll tackle that when it comes.
Text line 855-282-8255. Flip phone Stan says, the last 2 years weren't even real hockey.
You're
the
right.
bubble 2 years ago, and no fans, and a weird division schedule last year. Let's see what happens in a normal season. And I agree with a lot of that right there.
I do.
Joe Booze Rum says, real deal James Neal. Over under 18 goals, boys. And because he threw that out there. So folks know.
Nice.
So James Neal is 34 years old.
Yep.
We know he scored 40 back in the day, but that was 2011, 2012. So last year, in 29 games, he had 5 goals. But go back the year before with Edmonton, 55 games, he had 19 goals. I haven't looked at the Vegas over-under, but what do you think? Over-under 18 goals for James Neal.
I think James Neal, if he stays healthy, he's going to get 20 goals, at least 20. Because he's playing with good players, man. Hell, he's going to get 25 assists, too. He's just going to be in front of the net. It's going to go off his freaking shoulder. It's going to go off his knee pad. He's going to get that puck in the zone when he goes in forechecks, and somebody else is going to take care of it and spin around and score. He's going to get an assist on that. Like, he's just going to be good. I look at him, man, and I'm like, you're Patty, but kind of better skill set. Like, you're not a Patty's like loud, and he makes room because he's big, and try to get Patty off the puck, and it's not like, come on, Jimmy.
That's
like,
impossible.
Go. If you're a hockey player, go. You know the worst drill in hockey is like when Wamsley would throw the puck in the corner and be like, go. There you go, guys. Go battle it out for 3 minutes at a time. And if you go with Patty, you want to kill him. Because he sticks his fat ass out and hits you in a hip flexor, and you're like, what do I do now? And I'm like, you can't do anything. James Neal's kind of like that. But he's a little quicker. He's got a little bit better hands. I don't know. Patty's got sick hands. But his shot's good. Like, he can get a shot off down the wall. Like, he can get a breakaway. He's going to be good, man. He's going to simplify his game, and he's going to use whoever the hell he's with, whether it's Jordan Kyrou, whether it's Robert Thomas, whether it's Vladdy. And he's going to be like, I'm going to hook you guys up. I'm smart. I've been in the game a long time. I know how to score goals. I know how to set people up. I'm going to hook you guys up, and I'm going to get a lot of points.
And so if you look at what we think the Blues lines could be, if you're talking about a top line of Saad, O'Reilly, Perron, second line of, and we know this can change, but Kyrou, Shen, Buchnevich. If your third line is Robert Thomas, centering a line, and we all know he still has upside.
Yep.
If he's healthy, he can be a distributor, and he's going to be flanked by 2 former 40-goal scorers. Now, we all know that was a long time ago for James Neal. We all get that. That was 10 years ago. Vladimir Tarasenko scored 40. That was 15-16 season. So that's 5-6 years ago. We understand those guys are not going to be 40-goal scorers this year. However, you got some goal scorers. Vladimir Tarasenko, he ain't old yet, by the way. Now, he might be a little banged up. But still, if he's healthy, he could push 30 goals. I don't know if he's going to be healthy, but we'll see. But the fact that your third line has 2 guys that in their career has scored 40, and a guy like Tyler Bozak is on your fourth line, what I'm wondering is this going to be, when I say a totally different team, I know we're always going to look back to 2019, to the blueprint for them winning the Cup. And that was rolling 4 lines.
Yeah,
it was Jordan Binnington.
Let's go.
But it was heavy hockey.
Yep.
It was starting that fourth line in the postseason.
In your face.
And it was hitting you. And it was guys like Sonny and Barbie and Steen on the fourth line. That was the identity of that team. So my question is, will this team have a new identity? Is this now a team that not has to every night, but they're going to have to outscore you? And if the one part of this team you're wondering about is the blue line, but you feel really, really good about your offensive firepower, which we haven't said that in a while.
I know.
We have not said that about a St. Louis Blues team in a while. I'm just wondering. Do you think this will be a totally different team? Is this not your typical Craig Berube style team we've been used to the last 3 years?
No, you just have a better mixture of everything you want, right? Like, you have everything. Like, Sauter can go bang you around, baby. Like, these guys that, like, Schinner's going to bang you around. Also, he'll score. Like, all the guys that score still could play that, like, I'm in your face kind of attitude. And then all of a sudden you go down to the fourth line where you got like a Dakota Joshua he's gonna play, dude. He's doing the exact same damn thing that went through with me in 2005 when Lou signed Darren Langdon and Christoph Oliwa. He didn't know I was ready to be a heavyweight yet, and I beat both of those guys, and I beat him in training camp, and I did everything I was supposed to do, and I was hitting guys, and they traded him a month later, and I got called up, and I never looked back. And that's kind of what's going to happen. They got guys in the minors that are going to be playing, dude. And they didn't need to figure out what they want to do with them and how everything goes off the bat. But, yeah, they have scoring power. But also they got the guys that want to bang. Like, Sonny's going to hit you. Schinner's going to hit you. James Neal's going to hit you. Like, they got a little bit of everything, man. But if you need that third line to score a goal because the first two lines are banged up a little bit, like, you're going to get it. Like, as far as what the lineup looks like right now, like, you're tapping in like, yeah, we can rely on our third, fourth line to get a goal here and there.
Here's part of the reason I asked that. Mm-hmm. And, we all like to throw a bet down. You're Mr. MyBookie now.
Yeah, I am, baby.
I was checking this morning. It was just updated. So this is VegasInsider.com. The 2022 NHL Stanley Cup odds. So this was updated this morning about, 5 hours ago. And I also get that sometimes you're a little bit of a homer. And
Would you call me?
Not you personally, but we talk about our own team so much. We know more about our teams than other teams. And so sometimes you're a homer, not even really by design. It's just because you know more about your team and you don't know as much about other teams. But I was surprised when I saw that the Blues, if I go down, they're right in the middle of the pack. I believe it's tied for the 14th best odds with Montreal and the Calgary Flames at plus 4,000 to win the Stanley Cup. So if you look, I'll just go through them.
Calgary?
Blues are better than both those teams.
That's my point. That's why I brought this up. So it's Colorado plus 600, Tampa Bay plus 700, Vegas plus 750. Then you have the next tier, but it's Toronto, Boston, New York Islanders, Edmonton, Carolina, Florida, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, Minnesota Wild, Philadelphia Flyers.
Too, eh?
Listen. Dallas Stars, and then the Blues are tied at plus 4,000 with the Canadiens, with the Calgary Flames. Oh, there's a bunch of teams, actually. With the Winnipeg Jets and with the Chicago Blackhawks. So when I saw that, I was very surprised because in my head, the Blues are more like a team in the top third that has a chance to be potentially
really good
in the top five. Yeah, and Vegas looks at the Blues as a team that's, in terms of Stanley Cup odds, literally right in the middle of the pack.
And how do I look at that? I don't know. If I'm Lou Lamoriello, I'm like, hell yeah, put us in the middle of the pack. Don't talk about us. Don't even. Mm-hmm. We're not that good. No, don't mind. No, we just beat you 2-1. Oh, we just beat you 1-0. Oh, we just beat you 2-1. Oh, we just beat you 1-0. Oh, no, we're not that good. No, our goalies are. We let up 19 shots a game. No, don't worry about us. Like, that's what Lou would do back in 05 and 07. We had those badass teams. Even in 2012, no one even talked about us. And, like, he just was like, just quiet. And that's fine. And I look at Vegas. I don't know how Vegas works, to be honest with you. But they probably just evaluated the last 2 years. They want to know where Benner's at. They want to know where Colton Parayko's at. They want to know where some of these guys, Vladdy, like, we're looking at Vladdy like, we know what he's at. Like, we're watching him in training camp. He's flying around like 100 miles an hour. He weighs like 190 pounds now. We're like, no, he's going to be Vladdy. So we look at things differently. But they're probably looking at it like, nah, we saw you the last couple of years. Take COVID out of it because guys play better with COVID and they don't play with COVID. Blues were a bad COVID team. It's just that simple. So I don't give a damn what Vegas says. The way I look at it, if the Blues aren't in the top third, it's a disappointment. And we're going to have to call them out on it. And I think everybody in the organization is looking at that too. Like, dude, we're spending money. We've done everything we can. You better be pretty damn good.
And I guess my point is, I don't remember what the odds were last year, but I could understand, especially from from a big move standpoint, when you lose Alex Pietrangelo, I mean, that is a significant blow in every way, from being a captain, from being a name guy, from being a 25-minute player, quarterback of your power play. But we know Alex Pietrangelo was not with the Blues last year. So if you're evaluating the Blues from last year, where they do get swept in their playoff series versus Colorado, and COVID was very weird to the Blues. The Blues were awesome. From the day the calendar turned and Jordan Binnington came up in 2019, the Blues were the best team in hockey for about 15 months. For about 15 months straight until COVID hit in 2020, the Blues never picked back up at the same level. Doug Armstrong has said as much. He doesn't know why, but he said that at the end of last year. For whatever reason, we just weren't able to get back to that level. My point more so is, when you look at the Blues from last year versus this year in the offseason, wouldn't most hockey pundits think the Blues got better? When you add Saad, Buchnevich, I understand you lose Jaden Schwartz, you lose Vince Dunn, and are there question marks on the blue line? 100%. But I would think that you'd look just on paper at the moves the Blues made this offseason and would think at worst they're going to be a little bit better than last year. And I think they have them probably as the same or worse than last year. This is Vegas, by the way. But still.
What do you think their premise is then? You know Vegas more than I do. Like, what are they doing? Like, we're telling you what we know, but what do they know? They know more than we do?
Usually they're trying to... They're trying to put odds down so they get even money on both sides. Mm-hmm. And I think nationally, the perception is the Blues aren't that good. They don't like Binnington. I mean, let's face it. People outside of St. Louis think he's a punk.
You're 100% right.
Now, outside of St. Louis.
Great guy.
He's a very good goalie, too. And I think they just say, they see him when he gets a little, riled up and he goes out and goes after people. I go, well, good. And they go, but I go, well, did we complain when Patrick Waugh and Ron Hextall did it?
Come on.
No, it was part of who they were. Yeah. It was a good thing. You got to have that fire.
Billy Smith, baby.
Yeah, you got to have that fire. And the other side of it is the teams are in front of the Blues right now in the West, and that would be Vegas and Colorado for sure. When you look at the perception is they are flashy.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So the national people, they love flashy. The Blues, as we're talking here, and we all agree, 5-on-5 is where it's at. They're just going to beat you down. We're going to roll the four lines. And it's going to be somebody different every other night. And you're going to look up and you go, well, how did they beat us? Well, they just beat us to a pulp and we never got the puck.
Because our top guys are playing 30 minutes and their bottom guys are playing 15 minutes. So, like, Colorado's going to play their top guys a ton of minutes. And the Blues are going to be like, well, who's playing good tonight? Because we can put that fourth line out there now. Where a lot of teams can't do that. They're just top heavy, man. Top heavy.
Yep.
Toronto, Boston, top heavy. Now, Tampa's a different story, okay? We ain't talking Tampa. We don't need to deal with Tampa. We don't need to deal with Florida or Ireland, any of that yet. We're talking about the West here. The Blues are deep. These other teams are top heavy, but they're loud and they get a lot of attention. So a lot of times, man, when you're on that 3-game road trip, and you went back-to-back, like Nathan McKinnon's going to be like, I'm freaking tired. And who are you going to go to? Well, the Blues are going to be like, well, who's playing good? We'll put the fourth line out. We'll play them 15 minutes tonight. That's the difference.
I know we almost forget about who's in the division because last year was so weird.
I know,
it is a new division.
Louise.
But then you look, and you always got Colorado.
Yep.
And clearly the Blues haven't played a game. But when I look again on paper, who scares you in this division? Colorado, I think, is going to be good. Now, could they win the division? Sure. But I'm just looking at the teams on paper. I mean, isn't there a very good chance the Blues are the second best team in the division, if not competing for that spot? Who else do you think? Is it Dallas? Who this year? Has Chicago made that step? Winnipeg? Who do you think are going to be the legit contenders in this division?
I really think Chicago's going to... They weren't good last night.
They're going to be okay.
They're going to be all right. They're going to be much better. Fleury's going to be good for them.
Yep.
Jones is going to be much better than he played last night.
Taves.
Yeah. Taves will settle that thing down.
Yep.
Minnesota's ahead of the Blues for the odds.
The team, I think, that, again, they have to prove it, but Winnipeg is loaded with talent up there.
They are.
They can score.
Yep.
They acquired 2 more defensemen, Schmidt and Dillon, who can bring some physical play on the backside. And Hellebuyck, he can be really good. Yep. I don't think he's as great as everybody thinks he is. They put him like 1 or 2 in the league. He's good.
I saw that.
I don't think he's that good because I've seen him not do great in the playoffs.
I know.
So I like Winnipeg. Dallas should have a bounce back. They played without Sagan and Radulov. They played only 14 games for them combined last year. Those guys will be back in their lineup. They just missed the playoffs. And that kid Robertson.
Oh, he's good.
He's good.
No one talks about him.
Yeah, he's good.
They talk about Krill, Kippersoft the whole time.
Yeah.
No one talked about Robertson, and he was up there too.
And Minnie will be improving still. They lost some veteran leadership that I'm questioning how good they'll be, but they still have a good group of D-men, and Kaprizov is a superstar.
He's a superstar, and he's getting paid like one too. Here's the bitch of it. The Central Divisions
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. The Central Division is hardcore. It's hardcore. It's the best division in hockey right now, and it's going to be toe-to-toe, so that could have something to do with it too. Dallas might be unbelievable. Minnesota might. We don't know. That Nashville might be good. We'll have to get 10 games into it. But as far as what you're paying, if I'm the ownership group and I'm in meetings and we're trying to evaluate where this team needs to be, despite hardcore injuries and stuff like that, you're penciling this team in. Like as an ownership group and a mid-market team, you're like, you better be pretty damn good because we're counting on you to be.
Here's the other part
That's
of it.
how I look at it.
And I hate to always bring up gambling, but think about this team. I think they're going to score more than they usually do. Very good chance they allow more than they normally do the last couple of years. And, well, Jordan Binnington is really good to me at winning games in different ways. But he's not that Martin Brodeur shut down, I'm going to own the game. It's more like I can beat you 2-1, I can beat you 5-4. Right?
Grant Fuhr.
Right? Even if I have some bad goals, I still have confidence in the third period and overtime to get the win. So my point is there could be a lot of fun 5-4 games. There could be a lot of overs. There could be a lot of fun 4-3 games. Now, can you win a Stanley Cup with that? Maybe not. But it might be a really fun season if you like scoring.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a lot of goals one way or the other. And Marty let in some goals, too. But it depends on what era Marty you're talking. You're talking 2012 era. He's letting in 3 goals, but we're scoring 5. Because we had Covey and Zach Parise, and we were loaded up front, but our D were kind of like, But you go back into 95, 2000, 2003, Marty's just got to make those monster 2-on-1 saves that maybe Scotty had a toe pick. But usually in that, like Rafalski, Niedermeyer, Stevens, Dano, you ain't getting by him. And so it's like he won games.
Group.
Oh, my Jesus. Oh, God. Like, I would hate to play against that pesky Devils 90s team. Oh, Lord. Mean, boring, in your face. It's not about superstars. It's about we're going to bore you, shut you down, and hit you. But, yeah, like Jordan Binnington can beat. Look what he did in Dallas, dude. Look what he did against Dallas in Game 7. Look what he did in Game 7 against Boston. No, he'll shut you down if he wants to.
But I meant, like, he's not going to lead the league in goals against.
Not with that D.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah. But that's okay. You can still win without that.
No doubt.
You just got to step up in the playoffs, baby, like he knows how to do.